The tragedy of the commons has proven to be a powerful discourse, yet it is not without critique. Nobel laureate Elinor Ostrom spent much of her career criticizing Hardin's tragedy. Together with colleagues, he questioned both the inevitability of Hardin's tragedy and its generality, and took issue with ignoring the many examples where self-organizing of group property had protected the sustainability of the local commons. Ostrom and colleagues wrote, Hardin's proposed solution was either socialism or the privatism of free enterprise. The starkness of Hardin's original statement has been used by many scholars and policymakers to rationalize central government control of all common pool resources and to paint a disempowering, pessimistic vision of the human prospect. Hardin's blind spot to traditional forms of group property or collective ownership is unfortunate because group ownership can be quite effective. In their review, Ostrom and colleagues refer to the work of Sneed, who used satellite images from the Asian steppe to illustrate that Mongolian traditional group property management led to less erosion and degradation as compared to state-owned land in bordering Russia, as well as compared to Chinese bordering land, which was first state-owned and later turned private. Obviously, the study by Sneed does not mean that environmental policy is doomed to fail, nor that group property schemes are always effective in protecting ecological sustainability. Rather, Ostrom and colleagues highlight that protecting institutional diversity related to how diverse people cope with common pool resources may be as important for our long-run survival as the protection of biological diversity. Still, it is good to keep in mind that most remaining biodiversity, 80% according to some estimates, is on lands that are owned, occupied, or used by indigenous communities around the globe. Most of these communities have close ties with nature and have often safeguarded biodiversities for centuries. Ostrom dedicated her career to create a better understanding of the rules and conduct that can aid socio-ecological systems achieve sustainability. Apart from the call for institutional diversity, another aspect that features recurringly in her work is the inexistence of cure-alls, magic potions, or silver bullets. Since her general framework in 2009, others have proposed a more generalized version, as can be seen in this table from Constanza and colleagues. Using evidence from historical databases, the more, contained in Boyd et al., points out that increasing sanctions against commons misconduct was rare amongst the longest lasting commons. Instead of focusing efforts on sanctions, commons that lasted more than 200 years promoted participatory decision-making. The importance of participatory decision-making was highlighted in a recent study on reducing human-elephant conflicts. Elephant fences are relatively low-cost and low-harm means of reducing human-elephant conflicts and can be considered local public goods. The difference with open access goods being that consumption is non-rival. Non-rivalness referring to the consumption of one villager not decreasing the value of consumption for other villagers. Kamdar and colleagues studied why some elephant fences are well maintained whereas others not, using 266 interviews, 40 additional documents and 320 hours of observation. Overall, fence maintenance proved to be highly idiosyncratic. For example, some fences were in good shape due to the presence of motivated individuals that had lost close ones to conflicts with elephants. In contrast to their hypothesis, more homogeneous communities did not find it easier to cooperate, possibly because they found sanctioning more difficult. Kamdar and colleagues also found that insufficiently participatory organization of fence maintenance triggered a sucker effect, where perceptions of poor maintenance by others crowd out motivation to contribute amongst otherwise willing contributors.